The Bros Podcast. The Bros Podcast. The Bros Podcast. The Bros Podcast.
Pros Bros Podcast.
The Bros Podcast.
Pros Bros
Podcast.
Spoilers ahead.
Welcome to another episode of the Bros Podcast. I'm Eddie Cruz.
I'm Geoff.
And we're talking about Civil War and VR headsets today. We're going to start with VR because of the fact that Jeffrey just tried, for the first time, a Samsung VR garbage helmet. Tell me what's up. What do you think about it when you put it on your head?
Well, one, we have different shaped skulls and size heads.
Yeah. Like, describe your head and then describe mine.
Peanut for me and like a gigantic walnut.
Why did you go with nuts to describe head size? Obviously melons, right? I would say this. You have a melon-sized head that's normal like a cantaloupe, and I have a watermelon-sized gigantic octopus head.
So we have different shaped size heads.
Totally.
And we definitely had to adjust the straps. But also, the fit was kind of weird. It took us a little bit to realize you could move the eye shape.
Eyeball distance.
Yeah.
The distance between your two eyeballs. So mine's gigantic because I have a gigantic watermelon head, and Jeff's normal size head was seeing double vision, like half inside the frame, half outside the frame. So they accommodated that, and that wasn't a problem on their half. That was a problem on our the fact that I threw away the owner's manual like 6 months ago.
We fixed that. Another thing, I didn't think it was super comfortable. Part of that might be because my nose is broken, so it didn't fit straight, but glasses don't fit straight on me either. So I don't know if you had that issue too. Do you find it comfortable or uncomfortable?
I do, but I have a massive size head, and so it fits right on the top of my nose.
Do you want to talk about the first game I played?
Yeah, let's talk about the first game. It's Dread Halls. It's a pretty fun game, right? Let me describe Dread Halls because I know a little bit more about it than Jeff. I just kind of threw him into a random level. I played about half of the game. I did get worn out after half the game, but let's start at the beginning. You are stuck in a dungeon. You are at the bottom level of the dungeon. Every level that you conquer puts you one level up. As you go through the levels, they become harder and also a little bit scarier. So the whole thing is that in 3D or VR 3D headsets, you have a complete three-dimensional view. You kind of feel the space around you as being real.
Being in the room and looking around was one thing, but once you start moving, like I did kind of get a sense of like vertigo at first.
A little bit of vertigo, right?
Yeah, and certain things like at first I wanted to reach out and grab, and I know I can't do that, but like initially it's like, oh, it's right in front of me. So that was kind of a strange experience.
With the Galaxy VR headset, you can't actually reach out and grab things. So there's other headsets, right? There are different headsets that allow you to do different things. The HTC Vive has two handles, so your hand movements actually appear in the game. Something that this is definitely lacking. Part of why I call it a child's toy or a garbage trash fire toy, because I like it. It's fun, but if I want to play the game for over 2 hours, I have to stop and charge my phone up again for about half an hour in order to continue playing the game. It's not meant for long-term playing. So because of that, I really, really, really think this is more of a toy. But the HTC Vive and also the Oculus Rift both have hand gesture movements. Not completely, like they talk about in Ready Player One or anything, but just two controllers that go in your hands, and it captures where they are.
So how long would you say like each stage is on Dread Hall?
I would say about 15 to 20 minutes a stage.
Okay. So you played half the game. About what time? Like what's the time frame we're looking at?
4 or 5 30-minute sessions.
Okay, so definitely play like a stage or two, put it down, come back to it.
Oh, and you have to, especially if you're playing on a Samsung phone. You're gonna run out of battery life. It's gonna overheat. It's not a gaming system yet, so that's my criticism of it as far as what it is. It's definitely cool and cool to show your friend. And how long did it take me to show you? Maybe an hour. I showed you 3 games, and that was fun. But if we were to really sit down and be like, we want to play this game for an extended period of time, mind you, that's not an hour, especially for an 8-year-old or a 12-year-old kid that just got a gaming system.
And you mentioned, getting a gaming system. You see some of I just saw the new Batman game at Segovia's house. That thing looks amazing. I put on the VR headset and play Dread Hall, and it basically has the same graphics as like Doom.
Yeah,
back in the day.
maybe not Doom, because Doom was really bad. If you go back to Doom on a modern computer, you are going to be blown away by how bad it was and how you could have played that. But I would say more like maybe the first Resident Evil game.
Or maybe like an older Fallout.
Yeah.
The graphics aren't amazing, or at least in Dread Hall, but that wasn't enough to take me out of the experience. It's the experience that's drawing me in. And particularly with earbuds in and listening to like whatever gargoyle creature was like breathing down my neck as I'm going through this darkened alley. I get super freaked out, but like I could tell my palms were sweating. Now this could be because it's 100 out.
Life gets really shitty at 100
But I
degrees.
definitely think that was part of it. Like I could feel it felt tense, and that was super cool.
That was
I
part
felt
of the reason
anxious.
why when Geoff turned it on, I was like, hey, I'm going to stop talking to you now, because he was talking to me, kind of describing his experience. And the biggest thing was that when I first got it, that's what I did. And I got to say that I didn't have fun with it till I was completely alone. I had a lot of fun in my room with nobody in the house. It really scares you. And at that graphic rate, to be able to scare you as much as it did, I was pretty impressed by that.
Yeah.
Because the graphics are pretty garbage, It does rely a little bit on jump scares, but for the most part, it's not really jump scary. It's more isolation.
See, I
is
didn't
what
get
scares
any
you.
of the jump scares. I didn't play it as long as you have, so nothing jumped out at me. It was just the atmosphere, the sound a lot too,
Yeah.
and being cut off and being able to look around and see everything.
Part of that's
or
because,
lack of
like,
that.
for example, what you were describing right now is a character in the game that's a gargoyle, and when he chases you, he's not a threat until you turn around and look at him. He's kind of like
Bullshit.
Slender Man in that way. Like, he's there and he'll kill you, but only if you acknowledge him.
You know what? That's bullshit. That's bullshit because I was looking for a lantern or a candle or something, and I found one. I was like, I'm gonna see what's behind me, and then he's there, and he kills me. I just let him follow me around. That's cool because it's super creepy.
Yeah, it's super creepy. The entire time we were wandering around this dungeon, there's this gargoyle right behind you that can kill you at any moment.
And he looks freaky. The graphics, again, aren't the best, but it's enough to like, oh, shit.
It's not so much the graphics as the graphics mixed with your line of sight. I think that as soon as they hit this off with... Also, the PlayStation 4 is coming out with their version of it. But with the HTC Vive, I would love to play Layers of Fear. I would love to play the new game coming out that's a replacement for the Silent Hill game with Norman Reedus. I would love to play a game that has better graphics on a VR headset system.
I think the whole like survival horror gaming movement is gonna like be
Blow
huge
up.
again.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I got to a point where love Resident Evil, Silent Hill. You start playing these games, you kind of know what to expect.
Yeah, and you kind of did going into this one. You
Yeah.
kind of picked up the game and you picked it up and kind of realized what the controls were and what to do.
However, I felt more anxious because it was a brand new experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Besides this game, we played another one, though. What do you think about the VR carts? 3D.
It's like
VR.
Mario Kart. Doesn't really add much to the experience for me.
I'd agree with you. Number one, it's exactly like Mario Kart, just without Mario and Yoshi and Donkey Kong. As you play the game, it doesn't get any better. It's a lot of fun to play, but the reason why I showed you this game was for the fact that I wanted to show you another version of games that they're trying to incorporate into VR that I really don't think are going to work. Essentially, this is just games that are normal, but you're now in a VR setting.
You know what's funny about doing it for a race game? So you go into a race game or any race and you want to win the race.
Yeah.
Don't look back. You
Of
have
course,
the
right?
option of looking to the side and to the back during this. If you're in the lead, why the fuck would you do that? Just do your own thing. It's a race.
I agree with you on that. I think that also they're trying to create kind of a Wii kind of aspect because you aim with your head and shoot with the control pad. It's like a small portion of the game that's kind of cool because you aim with your line of sight. I just don't like if I had to play Call of Duty like that, even though I'd never play Call of Duty because it's such a boring game for douchebags. So this game, it just doesn't add anything to the game. I really like Dread Halls because it incorporates you. It's the only game that I played for a significant amount of time. And like I said, because the Samsung VR headset is a trash can fire, I don't really play it even that much anymore. I played it that one time, got a gist of it, and now I want to play a better game.
So, but you think this is better than the last one I played, right? The Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes?
I like that game a lot. See, I think there's a lot of potential in that version of the game. It's almost like playing a board game.
So, do you want to explain that game a bit?
It's a game where I put on the headset and I see a bomb. Jeffrey, on his phone, goes to www.bombmanual.com and gets a bomb manual.
Which you won't get in trouble for. The first time you told me to type that in, I was like, this is weird.
I really don't want to find out.
Do I want this on my history sort of thing?
You definitely won't get in trouble for that because it's for a game. I'm sure that the CIA will realize that, hopefully, unless they're complete idiots, which they are. So never mind. Don't play this game.
It would be Homeland Security.
Either way. Did I just insult half of...
And my stepdad, but okay, he won't listen to this anyway.
Hey,
so.
Jay, yo, what's up? I got you. Jack Daniels and Shiner Bock coming at you. I like this game because... And I especially like the potential that it has. So you look up a bomb manual, I disarm a bomb. There's different modules, and they become more intense as you go along.
Yeah, and I didn't even expect there to be a game like this, even hearing about the VR headset. I thought it was a solitary thing. You were going to have me come over. I was going to put it on, do my thing. But it's like, no, it's interactive. I thought that was pretty cool.
The potential is there. Like, you can have different kinds of games that are interactive between two people. And I like that.
The name of this game was kind of awful, though.
Don't Stop Talking and Nobody...
Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, or No One Explodes?
Or maybe this is why it's an awful title. I don't even remember it. Played the game many a times.
Do you think this is going to be the future of gaming, and is it going to be something that we're going to see soon?
I think that it's going to be a big deal, and it is something we're going to see soon. I think that, number one, everybody's putting money into it. The biggest problem right now is the graphics card that you need to run this kind of setup, especially the HTC Vive, is already going to be... It's going to set you back at least $1,500 to have a computer that can play this at optimal settings, right? The Oculus has a dumbed-down version for shitty computers, but if you're playing it shitty-wise, why not get the Samsung Gear VR? Once again, it is a garbage can fire. It only has whatever apps they want you to have. Oculus is trying to sell the Rift to people. I think it's more like $600. So less.
I mean, but for the price, you said you paid like, what, $75 for this or something?
Yeah, I got it used for $75 on Amazon.
Oh, okay. So new, how much?
$99, $100.
That's not bad. I don't think I would personally get it.
Well, you also have to have a Samsung phone. It has to be a 6 or a 7.
Okay.
So you wouldn't be able to get it unless you wanted to buy a $700 phone on top of it. Now, if you go, it sounds like I'm doing a fucking advertisement for it, but I'm not. If you go get a Samsung Galaxy 7, it comes with it for free because I'm sure they made way too damn many.
And I can pour champagne on my phone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. You can totally pour champagne on your phone.
I'm
you
an
can
LG
stick
dude.
it straight up an asshole of a goat. It'll be fine. At the end of it, what do you say that VR, in your opinion, is going to be a thing?
It was super fun. I'd love to play more survival horror games once either the technology gets better or cheaper. Because I'm sure there's stuff out there that's amazing. I'm not willing to spend like $600 to who knows how much to get it.
Yeah, I agree.
That was super cool.
We're going to move on to Civil War, a comparison between the comic book and the movie.
But a shitty one.
Yeah, it's going to get pretty bad. I've been drinking for a while. I'm enunciating way worse than I was before. Everything's becoming blurry. You've become a black blob that's telling me to cut myself.
First off, I'll say, what do you like better, the comic book or the movie?
I like the movie more.
I did too. Why did you like the movie better?
It fucked less shit up. I would say that the comic book really went out of its way to surprise the reader. Comic books have become really bad about having surprises and twists to really fuck everything up. I think it's in order to sell more comics, obviously. It's always been a thing with them. But I gotta say that at the end of Civil War, I felt like they started with a really great idea and turned it into a garbled mess.
Yeah, and I think as of the last, I don't even know, like 10 years maybe, like the comic books love to do that reset.
Yeah, and Civil War was kind of the beginning of that. Civil War led into New Day, which was a Spider-Man reset, which reset the whole world so nobody would know who Spider-Man is. It also led into House of M, where Scarlet Witch destroys most of the mutants, and at the end of that House of M and A New Day, essentially everything was reset so that Civil War never happened.
Yeah, they love doing that too. This is what happened.
Yeah.
That didn't really happen.
Yeah, exactly. Like right now, currently, today, Steve Rogers actually turns out to have been a Hydra agent this whole time. That's what they just did. They made a guy who was created by two Jewish writers who punched out Hitler in his first episode a Nazi.
And they made the Falcon the new Cap, right?
Oh, that had already happened.
Oh, okay.
So they actually took away that happened when Steve Rogers lost all his powers. Essentially, he wasted all the serum. The serum was depleted, and he became an instant old man. After that, they turned Steve Rogers into a Nazi, and Falcon's still Captain America.
So something I thought was interesting about Civil War, both the movie and the comic book, is that Captain America is the one who's not following orders. You would figure, at least I did reading it the first time. I read it years ago, forgot half of it, reread it. I was like, okay. And then seeing the movie, I'm reminded, it's like, really? The soldier is not following orders. He's Captain America. It reminds me of Superman, truth, justice, the American way. Of course he's going to follow whatever the current American way is. And I thought that was like an interesting choice. Do you think that was the right choice?
I think that was a great choice, especially in the comic book. 2001, the Patriot Acts are passed. This comic book comes out 2006. 2006, all of the fervor of September 11th has kind of died down. We're no longer like, fuck all Muslims, because we were, let's be honest. And the whole thing, I think, is that the Patriot Acts were essentially taking away civil rights and nullifying the Constitution, and we were really just all going along with it. And I think that this comic book is kind of paralleling that in a lot of ways. So by going against the government's actions and wants, Steve Rogers and Captain America is really becoming the true patriot and fighting for American civil liberties.
There's that clear freedom versus safety issue.
Absolutely.
Which was, I mean, super huge post 9/11.
Yeah.
I think it still is. It's always important.
I think it is. I don't think that it's as huge as it was between 2001 and 2005. I think that those years were the years where we really buckled down and were like, fuck everybody else. We need to stay safe.
I remember a lot of people saying when there's issues with racial profiling at the airports and TSA, people were like, well, fine, that's fuck it, as long as it keeps us safe from being bombed. I was like, are you guys listening to what you're saying? And some people that I thought were intelligent people saying this sort of stuff.
And now every time you go to the airport, you're going to get a little bit of radiation. Just a little bit of cancer. Just a little bit. Every single fucking time. So that was something that I really, really liked about the Civil War story, because I was definitely all like, Michael Moore, oh my God, you fat fuck, save us all. And he didn't save us, and then Al Gore didn't save us, and then Obama didn't save us. So now fuck it, fuck you, Bernie Sanders, I'm voting Hillary. What? Yeah, I said it. Fuck you.
Did Steve Rogers save you, or did Tony Stark save you?
No,
He saved you.
Neither one of them saved me, man. I really, really think that Tony Stark is a horrible piece of shit in both the comics and the movies. In the comics, he's an alcoholic, and he's a very imperfect human. And in the movies, he's super full of himself, which is actually something that's not really a comic thing. He's not Mr. Show off.
Yeah, he's not as arrogant.
Yeah,
I think that's a Robert Downey
that's
Jr.
definitely
thing.
a Robert Downey Jr. thing. So I really think that I hate him as a character, but in a good way. Like he makes a good anti-hero to me. He's not an anti-hero to a lot of people, but I think that he can be a villain most of the time. What do you think about the movie?
I liked the movie for several reasons. I preferred the movie over the comic just because they upped that intensity between Captain America and Tony Stark. So they gave Captain America the whole Bucky killing.
If you didn't listen to the beginning, stop listening now. Spoilers.
So they added the whole
Bucky killed your parents.
Yeah, and Captain America knowing about it.
And your mother's named Martha. I really like that addition. Bucky did not play a huge part in the comic books. He plays a huge part in the movie, and I like the way that they wrote this around him. What do you think about them not having Red Skull as the main bad guy in the movie?
Well, is he in the comic?
Yeah, he's the main bad guy. At the end of did you read Death of Captain America afterward?
No.
All right. After the events of Civil War, Sharon Carter, while escorting Captain America back to a trial, kills Captain America. Crossbones is across the street and hits him in the shoulder as he tries to block her, and then she shoots him in the stomach twice. And we find out that Red Skull was not only in charge of brainwashing her and killing him, but also in charge of a lot of the people that turned the Registration Act into effect, and thus making it all a puppeteering act from the Red Skull.
See, that's something I don't like about certain comic books, because you can write something and you undo the writing from the previous writer just by like, oh, I'm gonna edit history this way. And I'm not saying I don't know, because I haven't read that. I don't know if it's the same writer, but that happens constantly, and it's, I have a little bit of issue with it only when I don't like the writing.
As always, if the writing's bad, we have a bad product. I don't think the writing was bad in Captain America, the movie, at all. I think the writing got a little out of hand in the comic book.
There's too much going on.
There's just way too much going on. I do think that the comic book did a better job at relaying why the Registration Act was a bad thing. And in the comic book, you were really, if you weren't on Cap's side, you were really kind of a heel. It was kind of a clear-cut thing. Captain America was a good guy. Iron Man was a bad guy. It was like clear-cut lines, you know?
Especially towards the end. I did notice in the movie they kind of took out the whole reality TV aspect of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, that was another thing, right? It was and mind you, it was in the early 2000s when reality TV was huge. It was the older generation of superheroes making fun of the younger generation of superheroes who were having reality TV shows filming them. You know what I mean? It's almost the same as us making fun of millennials who are garbage can fires. So if you're under the age of 32, I really want you to shoot yourself in the head.
I also did think this was kind of ridiculous in the comic book. I was like, wait, who the fuck are Jester and Jack-O-Lantern? Like, they almost fucking quote unquote kill Spider-Man.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I have no idea who those two characters are. Actually, I don't remember them at all.
Yeah, they when Spider-Man finally switched sides, they come in. They're on the the Thunderbolts. So they find Spider-Man. They pretty much fuck him up, and Punisher saves him. Which I thought one of the redeeming qualities about the comic book, which honestly didn't like it too much.
It's actually kind of reviled to be a bad comic. Everybody really kind of believes it to not be the best of series from Marvel. It's held up there with some other shitty ones, which like Spider-Man Clone Saga.
Yeah.
Thunderbolts is something I never got into. I there's so much now. It's hard to get into smaller characters, man, unless they're good. I don't have time.
And there's too many, and particularly with Civil War, a lot of people didn't have motives or didn't feel like real characters. I love Punisher coming in and kind of having that issue with Captain America. It's like, well, no, you're a psychopath. We don't want to let you in. And he ends up killing people, which is awesome.
I love the fact that there was a problem between Captain America and Punisher. Their different ideologies really shine through and kind of give you an idea of where Cap's coming from, give you an idea where Punisher's coming from. And at the end of the day, I respected both of their ideas.
I thought it was ironic because Captain America is getting mad at Punisher. And I was like, at this point, you're both renegades.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
So what are your thoughts on Civil War being essentially, whether it be comic or movie, a ripoff of a typical X-Men storyline? This is always happening with the X-Men, where they're trying to register the mutants.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit different connotation to this one, which is it's happening to the white people now. No, I'm just joking.
It's like a mutant from birth, or it's like, nah, you...
No. You changed into one, so you're a hero. I think that was always a problem that really came out in response to this, and that's why all the mutants are on Captain America's side. I mean, if you'll notice, for the most part.
I thought they just took it like, it's like, we're not going to get involved.
Wolverine's definitely on his side.
Okay.
Scarlet Witch is on his side. I agree. It really is a bit of an X-Men ripoff, and it's kind of taking X-Men and applying it to all of the comics. I think that they do this a lot of the time to try to promote lesser characters or try to get you to read something that kind of gives you a summary of what's been going on all around. So whenever they do Civil War, it's like Civil War Black Panther, Civil War Iron Man, Civil War Wolverine. And you have to collect them all, to get all the Pokemon and to get the plot of everything.
Yeah,
and
I've only done that with the stuff I like. Because there's like, Civil War essentially is a 7-issue saga, and there's like a shit ton of other stuff.
Yeah, seriously, right? So if you read the 7 titles, you're done. But if you read everything else, it's going to take you a couple of weeks. And you'll get one-shots at best. At the end of the day, I like Civil War a lot. I don't like that it was I don't really know if it was that great of an event. It should have been shorter. Should have been shorter and less complex. They made it way too complex.
Yeah, definitely. Like the idea of having everybody be in the Civil War at first sounds cool. Then you realize it's like half of these people I don't like or I don't want to read about.
Yeah, and that's actually what made the movie actually so much more streamlined too. It was like 6-on-6 or 8-on-8, you know,
Yeah.
and that was nice. You know, what do you think about Ant-Man?
In the movie, right? Because
Yeah, he was. I don't even remember him.
Comic.
Well, I think he was Yellow Jacket at that point
Oh, okay.
because Ant-Man beat his wife, and then she left him, and then he turns into Yellow Jacket. There's a new Ant-Man. I don't know. It's crazy.
So ants are evil, bees are good,
Yeah, whatever.
wasps.
Everything sucks.
No, he's funny. Paul Rudd's awesome.
I love Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. I think that was a great scene. And as soon as he goes, I got something ready, or I have something like up my sleeve, I knew, and I got really excited and almost peed a little. I peed a little. It was good. Can I ask you another question?
Sure.
What do you think about Spider-Man?
Spider-Man was badass.
Right? What do you, you're a big Spider-Man fan, so would you say that they encompassed this in this 15 minutes, which has been said, they encompassed a better view on Spider-Man as more so than all of the other movies combined?
It's really tough to tell for me because each one, I think there's different elements that make up Spider-Man, but nobody's really nailed it. I like the sense of humor. I like them bringing it back to him just being a kid again. Part of the last series, what was it, the Amazing Spider-Man movies? I think the fighting scenes were awesome. Like when he's fighting the lizard, he's crawling all over him. These like close quarter scenes were way better than Tobey Maguire just swinging on one of his webbing and knocking somebody out. That seems easy. But at the time, we don't have anything else to go on, so that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this. Fuck man. Well, I hope it's done well.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see. Do you know about what storyline they want to do?
I have no idea, to be honest, about anything. The movie's called Homecoming, so he's going back to high school, obviously. I know that Tony Stark's going to be in the movie, so they might do something with him.
I hope they limit the origin story of that because we've seen that so many times.
It's over. I don't think that they're going to do that.
I don't want to see Ben die for another fucking series.
I do. And I want it to be Christian Slater this time. Or who else? We can not instead of Martin Sheen, I want Emilio Estevez to be his dad. Come on. That's a good one.
Or his uncle.
No, his dad.
His
Or his
dad?
uncle. Yeah, sorry. Uncle
Ben.
Yeah. I think it should be Emilio Estevez as Uncle Ben and Shia LaBeouf as Spider-Man.
Dude, they should just go hard and be all, fuck the Homecoming. We're going to do a superior Spider-Man.
Yeah, fuck yeah. And just have it be Doc Ock.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I really like
Good
that
stuff.
that storyline.
That was good. That's actually what I bought you The Death of Spider-Man for your birthday.
Yeah.
That was good stuff. That was actually a surprisingly good run. What do you think about where they're going with this? So they have one more movie. No, they have no more movies, right? Black Panther's coming out after Infinity War, right?
I'm not sure the timeline for everything.
I don't either, man. I know that they're making a couple more movies. Doctor Strange. They're going to do Doctor Strange, and then they're doing Infinity War Part 1, and the year after that, Infinity War Part 2.
And then Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's before.
Sometime in between.
Yeah, that's before. So Doctor Strange and Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and then Infinity War. Do you think that they can repair the rift in the Avengers before then, or do you think they're going to take this into that movie, and that'll be Part 1?
I think they will. They kind of have to, right?
Take it into the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, they could they kind of already fixed it at the end of the movie. He sent him a letter. Nobody writes letters anymore. That means a lot.
It's better than a text or
Yeah.
email.
I mean, usually if I get mad at you, I'm just going to be like, hey, man, I'm really sorry.
You've never tried to write me a letter.
No, I've never written you a letter. I don't even know your address. Your address. I don't even know your address.
I'm not going to say it on the podcast.
Good.
Who's the biggest dickhead in the Marvel Universe? Hero, mind you.
Hero?
Yes, we're not talking about villains.
Ooh. Who's the biggest dickhead hero in the Marvel Universe?
Like, you think of him and you're all, fuck that guy.
Probably Deadpool, really.
Deadpool. Yeah.
I mean, he's even to his friends, he's a dick.
He's obnoxious.
Yeah. Besides Deadpool, biggest dickhead, Punisher. Would you really want to hang out with Punisher?
Fuck no.
He'd be a fucking annoying asshole, man.
Honestly, I'd want to hang out with Tony Stark.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, he's a douchebag, but God, that'd be fun, right?
Tons of great alcohol.
Yeah.
All these like parties, cool events.
Incredible overflow. Not that I'm interested in that, but if there's a hypothetical, I'm single in that one.
He could probably fix up your VR headset and make it fucking amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be like, hey, can you fix up my Jeep Cherokee? Can you make it a 2016?
Then again, he totally would not want to hang out with us.
No way. Look at us.
On this week's Pros Bros podcast, we discuss the VR headset and both the comic and movie version of Marvel Civil War.
I really, really love Captain America. Whose side are you on?
Iron Man.
Oh my God, I fucking hate you. I'm here to tell you guys about a new podcast we got going on. It's going to be called Kill Your Idols.
So what is that shit about?
That's a new motherfucking podcast we got going, where we take your idols and your heroes and we take them down a peg.
I love my heroes.
Fuck your heroes. Kill your idols. Next week on Pros Bros Podcast. Where can they find that, Jeff?
You can find that on iTunes, Podcast Addict, Stitcher, which is still a thing,
Fuck Stitcher.
and you can follow us, and hopefully you do, on Twitter at the Pros Bros.
We also have an email, but I forgot what it is, so fuck it.